Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the English edition of the Ora News broadcast. I'm Daniel Cook, your host, at 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. In today's news, the Union of Judges is against the current disposition, which states that judges must be suspended before they are tried. Today, the Union of Judges has expressed its standing against the current disposition, which states that in case of a penal proceeding against a judge, the High Council of Justice must suspend him until the tribunal reaches its final decision. On July 17th, the Union of Judges sent a letter to the Law Commission stating that the immunity of judges is limited in the Constitution and they can be put to trial without obstacle. According to them, the new changes of the High Council of Justice will expose the independence of the tribunal system. According to the Union, this violates the principles of judges, which are clearly stated in Section 7 and 145 of the Constitution. Based on this, the Union of Judges does not think that this disposition should be approved. Despite this fact, in the letter sent to the head of the Law Commission, Fatmir Jaffa, the Union of Judges writes that this law must be seen as part of the justice reform, so that Albania fulfills the recommendations given by the European Union. According to them, it is very important to present constitutional arguments regarding this disposition. Currently, the immunity of judges is limited in the Albanian Constitution, and they can be prosecuted without any obstacles and without being suspended. The American ambassador to Albania, Alexander Arvizu, has held a long meeting with the Albanian president, Bujar Nishani. Over a period of 1 month, President Nishani has rejected 8 laws of the majority, and there has been a tense situation between the head of state and the prime minister. This has forced the United States ambassador in Tirana, Alexander Arvizu, to break the silence and discuss for nearly an hour with the president of the Albanian Republic, Bujar Nishani. After the meeting, neither of them spoke to the media, but considering the latest political developments, it is assumed that President Nishani and Ambassador Arvizu discussed the aggravated situation between the presidency and the majority. Sources say that their conversation was focused on the latest political developments, since President Nishani has considered the laws of the majority to be unconstitutional. So far, the American embassy has not made concrete comments regarding these issues, and it appears that the United States ambassador to Albania, Alexander Arvizu, has taken the first step to improve the situation. The Albanian ombudsman, Igli Totazani, has requested an immediate change to the law on disabled people. During the hearing session with the interested groups, which was organized today in the Work and Social Matters Commission, the ombudsman, Igli Totazani, requested an immediate change to the law. Totazani said, "This law affects our competences. How is it possible that we were not included or asked about this? This law is not in harmony with the United Nations Convention regarding disabled people, and for that reason, it must be changed," stated Totazani. The Albanian ombudsman also mentioned the articles that must be reviewed in this law. Totazani addressed the protesters, stating his support once again. "I assure you that the ombudsman will always support the principles that make your life easier. You must be sure that this institution will always protect your rights," concluded the Albanian ombudsman, Igli Totazani. A group of disabled people protested today in front of the parliament against a law that was recently passed. Disabled people are protesting in front of the parliament against the law concerning them, which, according to them, affects their rights and favors the government. The head of the Association of Blind People, Sinan Tafai, stated that even the previous government did not have the courage to implement this law. He added that the rights of this category of people are being violated, and he accused Minister Valiai of being dishonest. He said, "We are gathered here today to express our sadness about the law that was presented by the ministry. And I want to stress that this protest is not against the government or against the Socialist Party, but it is against Minister Arion Valiai, who proposed a law that even the previous government did not dare to propose. I want to emphasize that this is a tricky law, since Article 22 of this law states that the current legislation will be changed, which means that we might lose all of our rights. We are not here to protect certain individuals, but we are here to defend our rights, which were given to us by God and the previous governments. We are just a civil society, which is based on human rights, and we believe that the actions of Minister Valiai against us will be increased in the future, since the only thing he wants is to violate our rights. Minister Valiai is a dishonest man, since he stated that he would resign if a right is violated. If he continues with these kind of actions, then he will only have temporary success, since we are determined to fight and protect our rights," stated Sinan Tafai, the head of the Association of Blind People. On her part, the head of Quadriplegic Society stated that the law regarding this group means nothing. During her speech about the Minister Valiai, she declared that he cannot understand these people, since he doesn't know what being disabled means. She asked the deputies of the Parliament not to pass this law and requested from them that they think about this category of people. She continued, "Today we represent thousands of members, even though on Friday Minister Valiai said that this is a protest of 2 or 3 members. Mr. Minister, you are mistaken if you think you can keep us silent, because we gave our rights. We are not 20 organizations, as you say, but we are 120 local organizations, which protest against the law that was presented in the Parliament. As a national council, we have asked for this category to have its own status, but you want to exclude us. You have no idea what being disabled means, and you want to play with us. I urge all deputies not to pass a law that violates the rights of disabled people. Think like us, and then you'll know what we want and need," she concluded. The Democratic Party feels that the cell phone registry law may violate the rights of private citizens. The Democratic Party has decided to send one more law of the government to the Constitutional Court, the law on registering every IMEI, or mobile equipment identity, of Albania's mobile phones. The deputy of the Democratic Party, Edward Halimi, announced today that the opposition has requested the Constitutional Court to negate this law. The former Minister of Justice, Edward Halimi, added that the approval of this law violates privacy, since from now on, every mobile phone can be traced. He said, "Knowing the IMEI number means having unlimited access to the whereabouts, messages, conversations, Viber, Facebook, WhatsApp, photos, and every private thing that is in somebody's mobile phone," said Halimi. According to the Democratic Party and the former Minister of Justice, this law violates 5 sections of the Albanian Constitution and is against the European standards. Halimi stated that this law must be immediately negated so that it has no negative consequences on respecting human rights. An MP of the Democratic Party has stated that the recent boycott against the Parliament was not a very good plan. The head of the Demo-Christian Party and also one of the deputies of the opposition, Nard Ndoka, declared today that the boycott of the deputies of the Democratic Party in this period was not well thought out. The head of the Demo-Christian Party wrote on his profile in Facebook that this boycott was not the right thing to do, and added that the actual majority is passing laws without consulting with the opposition. He wrote, "The boycott of the deputies of the Democratic Party, of the Parliament and Commission is a rushed decision and a wrong decision, especially in this period. Firstly, the Parliament is the institution for presenting ideas and programs. Secondly, under no circumstance should the opposition resign from its constitutional rights, even if it is assaulted. In these moments, the actual majority is passing laws, such as the territorial reform and the laws in the High Council of Justice, without first consulting with the opposition or with interest groups. Finally, the opposition must be organized in this moment, in which several interest groups are protesting against the decisions of the Parliament. The opposition must be united, organized, and represent these groups in the Parliament. The boycott is a good political action, but when it continues for a long time, it damages the opposition itself." The Ministry of Health is taking steps to improve the quality of the healthcare system in Albania. The process of recertification for doctors, which started in 2010 and will end this year, has shown the actual situation in the healthcare sector. In our hospitals, there are doctors who have not made even the minimal attempts to update their professional abilities. Other doctors have made minor efforts, but they have not managed to win enough credits in the recertification program. The Minister of Health, Ilir Becaj, had this to say: "There are professional doctors with 0 credits, and this is unacceptable. If there are still doctors with 0 credits at the end of this year, they will be immediately suspended," stated the Minister of Healthcare, Ilir Becaj, during his informational meeting about the recertification process. Furthermore, Becaj stated that all doctors who have not received enough credits will have to take the state exam in the next 6 months. He continued, "This program started in 2010, but still, today there are professionals with 0 or an insufficient number of credits. All those that don't make efforts to update their knowledge will not be allowed to continue their profession. Measures will be taken against them immediately, and if after 6 months they still haven't passed the state exam, then their license will be suspended," added the Minister of Healthcare, Ilir Becaj. Minister Becaj emphasized that the doctor's lack of knowledge is one of the main reasons why patients lose their lives. That's why he advised doctors to be very careful, especially in remote areas where they have the responsibility to offer their services without having the proper equipment. Becaj added that hospitals must take immediate measures in order to create a healthcare sector with higher standards. The Democratic Party is still waiting for a response from Prime Minister Edi Rama regarding the actions of the MP, Arben Ndoka. The Democratic Party has once again accused the Prime Minister Edi Rama of failing to react to the incident between Democratic Party Deputy Gent Strazimiri and Socialist Deputy Arben Ndoka. During a press statement for the media, the Deputy of the Democratic Party, Albana Vokshi, stated that the Prime Minister must react and must take measures to deal with this matter. She said, "For 11 days, Edi Rama has kept quiet and has ignored the physical aggression and threats against one of the deputies of the opposition, Gent Strazimiri, who was attacked after an act that was organized by the Prime Minister. Furthermore, Rama stayed quiet even when his deputy, who has an obvious criminal past, threatened the life of the Democratic Party spokeswoman, stated Albana Vokshi. Furthermore, she added that the silence of Prime Minister Rama is equivalent to the violent actions of his deputies. She continued, his failure to react is offensive to every woman in the country. This is the time to show the public that Prime Minister Rama only creates empty propaganda for women, but he immediately erased 2 women candidates from the list just to make room for Deputy Arben Ndoka in the parliament. The first public acts of this deputy were assaulting a member of the opposition and threatening the life of the Democratic Party spokeswoman. These criminal actions and the facts that have been given about the criminal past of this deputy have shocked the public opinion. But to Prime Minister Rama, nothing has happened. He keeps quiet and pretends nothing happened because he is the one running the show, and he is the one responsible for these actions against the opposition and its representatives, stated the deputy of the Democratic Party, Albana Vokshi. The EU diplomats are concerned that the outgoing Prime Minister of Kosovo may force new elections. The EU diplomats are reportedly concerned that Hashim Thaçi's DPK party will insist on remaining in power at any cost or force new elections. The party won a majority of seats in Kosovo's assembly in the June 8th elections, but has been unable to form a coalition. According to the Albanian language daily Koha Ditore, which is published in Pristina, the European diplomats believe that PDK's position was very detrimental to Kosovo in the long term. They also reportedly reiterated that the EU decided not to interfere with Kosovo's internal affairs, as it should find its own way out of the post-election situation. According to the Daily, the unnamed EU sources also said that it was up to the political structures in Kosovo to form the institutions. However, they also sent a message to Thaçi, saying that although his party received the most votes in the elections, somebody else has secured the majority in the assembly, and that there can only be one and not 2 majorities in parliament. The Democratic Party of Kosovo, PDK, Kosovo's current ruling party, is drawing increasingly closer to losing power after 3 opposition parties, LDK, AAK, and NISMA, agreed to designate the Democratic League of Kosovo's Isa Mustafa as the new assembly chairman. This is the first realization of the opposition alliance. It was announced immediately after the June 8th parliamentary elections, and it could end up by having PDK's Prime Minister Hashim Thaçi left out of the government. But if in the end a change of government does occur, it will not be a smooth process. The PDK was the largest party in the elections, and therefore has the right to try to form a new government, according to a recent ruling by the Constitutional Court. The problem for Thaçi's party is that it only won 37 seats out of 120, and it has no other allies in the parliament. If PDK is not able to form a government, the court said, when Kosovo President Atifete Yahyaga may ask another candidate to do so. The 3 opposition parties together hold 47 seats, and they are convinced that a candidate hailing from their ranks, most likely AAK's Ramush Haradinaj, can gather the support of the other parties, including from the Self-Determination Party or from other minority parties, in order to secure an absolute majority. The situation in northern Kosovo will be discussed in an upcoming meeting in Brussels on Tuesday. The Kosovo director, Marko Ćurić, said that the situation in northern Kosovo will be the main topic of a meeting that is planned for Tuesday in Brussels. Ćurić told the Belgrade-based TV Pink on Monday that he expects to hear new ideas about the resolution of issues related to the bridge, which connects the southern Albanian section and the northern Serb part of the town, in the north of the province. Kuric and Kosovo's Deputy Prime Minister, Edita Tahiri, already met on July 11th in Brussels to discuss the Peace Park, which was set up by the Serbs on June 18th in the middle of the main bridge across the Ibar River. They set up the Peace Park after they removed the roadblocks they had put up 3 years earlier to protect themselves against the attacks by Albanian extremists, according to Tanjug. However, even after 10 hours of talks that were conducted through EU intermediaries, no agreement was reached. After that meeting, Kuric told reporters that the work at the site should continue, while Tahiri said that the park should be removed from the bridge because it limits the freedom of movement. The Peace Park is intended to bring about the normalization of relations and to restore the mutual trust, Kuric said, before the continuation of the talks in Brussels. He also noted that in the meantime, Edita Tahiri crossed the bridge and passed through the Peace Park, which she earlier claimed to be an insurmountable barricade, and she visited the northern part of Kosovska Mitrovica. The aim of the talks is to resolve the tensions in northern Kosovo, said Kuric, adding that he expects the Tuesday meeting in Brussels to end with an agreement. The normalization of relations, stability, and peace should also be in the interest of all the Albanians, and not just us, said Kuric. The meeting will also address the way that justice is done for our citizens, the director of the Serbian government's Office for KIM added. He recalled that Oliver Ivanovic has been kept in detention for 6 months without an indictment, and stressed that there are no serious arguments to support the charges against him. The Serb politician was arrested on January 27th on suspicion that he participated in several crimes committed in 1999 and 2000, including an aggravated murder. The Serbian government issued guarantees that in case of Ivanovic's release pending trial, the defendant will at all times be available to the court. Furthermore, Serbia opted to participate in the Kosovo government and to take on responsibility, and Serbia expects that Serbs will be given ministerial posts, says Marko Kuric. Serbia has chosen to take on a considerable part of responsibility for security, economic sustainability, and the quality of life of the entire Serb community in the province by participating in the Kosovo government, said the director of the Serbian government's Office for Kosovo and Metohija. Serbia will be giving €1 million in assistance to 2 of its towns that were hit the worst by the floods in May. Serbia has earmarked €1 million in aid for Samac and Doboj, which were hit badly by severe floods in May, said Serbian Prime Minister Aleksandar Vučić, who toured 2 towns on Sunday in the Republic of Srpska and the Serb entity of Bosnia-Herzegovina. Vučić first visited Samac, together with the Serbian Foreign Minister Ivica Dačić and Dragan Marković, the leader of the United Serbia, and the mayor of Jagodina. The Serbian delegation was welcomed by the RS president Milorad Dodik, the prime minister, and the mayor of Samac. After the talks, Vučić addressed the citizens in the town square. He stated that as soon as Monday, the Serbian government will transfer €500,000 for the repair of the school in the village of Krkvina and explore ways to assist other flood-affected areas of the Republic of Srpska. He made this statement: "When the news started coming in about the floods in Samac, Doboj, and other parts of the Republic of Srpska, I was equally concerned about that and the troubles of the Serbian people," Vučić said. He noted that half of his family lives in the Republic of Srpska. He underscored that RS can always count on Serbia's assistance and thanked the RS citizens for their concern, help, and love for Serbia. Stressing that this is just the beginning of assistance, Vučić voiced the hope that as Serbia grows stronger in economic terms, it will be able to help Srpska even more. The stronger Serbia gets, the better it will be in Bosnia and the RS, and for everyone in the region, Vučić said, stressing that on that occasion, that Serbia wants peace and good relations with all neighbors. Then, the Serbian delegation, together with the hosts, toured the primary school in Krkovina near Samac, which was damaged in the floods. The school was built in 1967 and will have 233 pupils this year. Vučić said that, thanks to the Serbian government's donation, the repair process will be completed by September, before the start of the new school year. Addressing the local people, Vučić said that it is Serbia's constant obligation to look after the RS, with the respect of the neighbors, both Croatians and Bosnians. This has been the Aura News English edition. Thank you for watching. Please join us again tomorrow at 6 p.m. for more Albanian news in English, only here on Aura News. Thank you and good night.